Pressing issues have been raised during a parliamentary debate in the Netherlands, with lawmakers questioning the investigation into the crash of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH17. For more, we can hear from RT correspondent Gaine Chichikan now, who joins us from Washington. Gaine, what details have you got for us?
Well, the Dutch Public Prosecutor's Office recently wrote a letter with an update on their investigation into the downing of MH17. The letter raised some eyebrows in the Dutch parliament. Here's why. It says Dutch investigators don't A, have any raw radar data, and B, any images of the location from which a missile was launched due to clouded sky at the time, the letter says. Dutch investigators saying they don't have the data left many puzzled because they remember U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry saying this a few days after the downing of MH17 in July of 2014.
We picked up the imagery of this launch. We know the trajectory. We know where it came from. We know the timing, and it was exactly at the time that this aircraft disappeared from the radar.
So what happened to all that imagery and radar data? Why, almost 2 years after the downing of the plane, the Dutch prosecutors say they don't have that data? I went to ask the State Department.
I believe we have collaborated with the Dutch in their investigation. To what level of detail, I just don't know. I just don't know to what level we've shared information with them. I'd have to look into that.
Well, although the State Department spokesperson said he didn't know what data the U.S. provided, to my question if he could find out, he said yes. So we will follow up on this.
OK, Gaine Chichikan brings us latest from Washington, D.C. there. Many thanks. Now, Thomas Seimer, who's an international attorney, believes that the investigation is taking so long because the evidence is being blocked at all levels.
There are a lot of issues. Any criminal investigation revolves around evidence. And at all levels, it sounds as though the evidence is being blocked. From what I understand, Ukraine has not released key radar information. There's no reason why they shouldn't be doing that. And some aspects of the investigation have been sealed. And so if evidence is sealed and you're not allowed to see it, and other evidence is being withheld, it's going to be very hard to make a case and prove it.
Some of the families of the victims of MH17 have been trying to take legal action against Ukraine by suing both the country and its president for manslaughter by negligence. They argue that under international law, Ukraine should have closed its airspace if it could not guarantee the safety of flights. We spoke to Professor of Aviation Law, Elmar Giamula, who's representing 3 families. He said that their lawsuits were simply ignored.
We have filed our lawsuits more than 1 year ago, and we never received a response from the court, except an acknowledgement of receipt. So we know definitely that our lawsuit has arrived at the court, but for the time being, we are completely in darkness, left in darkness by the court. We do not know anything about the further procedure. We do not know if the Ukrainian defendant has received a copy of our lawsuit. We do not know whether or not the Ukrainian side has responded to our allegations and to our claims. And we do not know what the court has in mind, how the court will be treating this lawsuit, how it will proceed. We do not know anything.